Thanks for listening. There are many, many different forms of astrology, and we respect them all, at least in the right hands. They help people. Every culture that has ever existed in history basically has come up with some form of divination based on the heavens. The diversity of approaches is actually quite overwhelming. Here in the Forrest Center for Evolutionary Astrology, we practice what we call the Stephen Forrest method. So I'm Stephen Forrest. Let me say a few words about what that means. It is essentially a modern form of astrology in which I have picked and chosen among the various techniques that I learned when I was a young person, reading voraciously, trying to learn everything, and then figuring out what actually worked for me. I don't want to be rigid about it. I don't want to be judgmental about other forms. I've never met any astrologer who was practicing the second best form of astrology that he or she had ever discovered. So, of course, I think this is the best, but I say that with a smile and with great respect for the other traditions. Nonetheless, in the FCEA, we deal quite strictly in this one approach, this one linguistic system, as we dive into the mysteries of the human soul as they are revealed in the planets. At a philosophical level, I would simply say that we believe that unresolved issues from previous lifetimes are what brings us back into this world. This is Metaphysics 101. It assumes the idea of a meaningful and purposeful reason behind your incarnation. And that's the language we use. We believe that everything in your chart reflects those unresolved issues from the karmic past and also reveals an evolutionary path forward. So in a sense, every planet in your chart is a problem whose origins lie before you were born, but it also contains the solution. It also contains an evolutionary path forward, something that's going to work better for you, and hopefully we astrologers can help aim you at that higher ground, at that happier life. Emphatically, the Stephen Forrest method of evolutionary astrology does not accept any kind of fatalism. We are not fatalistic. Your chart presents you with questions. It's your fate to face those questions, but the answers you give are your own business, and some of the answers might be better than other answers, and we aim to suggest the right ones. Bottom line, you co-create your reality with the planets. In this system, you're not a puppet or a marionette dangling from your strings, and when the planets twitch, you twitch. No, the planets ask you questions, and anything that's truly a question is going to have more than one answer, and shades of gray between right answers and wrong answers, and that's really what it's all about. We do not claim to have some kind of crystal ball in which we can foresee your every action. Now, all astrologers in every tradition will purport to tell you what your chart means. You know, that's pretty universal. But evolutionary astrologers, we do that, but we also wrestle with a question most other astrologers don't wrestle with. Not what does your chart mean, but why do you have it? What has drawn you into this incarnation? And once again, the answer lies in the mysteries before your birth. We look into the eyes of a baby and there's somebody home. The eternal question, how did that person happen to get in there? Once again, we use the language of reincarnation to answer that question. At a technical level, we use the Placidus house system with a time descendant. There are many other house systems, the whole signs and Alkebusius and Koch and Porphyry and so on, just different technical ways of dividing up the space around the Earth so that we speak the same language in this program. We use the house system that has worked best for me over the years, and that is the Placidus system. As I continue to think about our technical approach, we employ the mean lunar nodes, not the true node. The true node has become popular. I'll spare you a technical distinction about the difference in this simple talk. I've simply found that in the relatively rare situations where the mean node is in one sign and the true node is in another sign, it's the mean node that really tells the deeper story. So Placidus houses and the mean nodes with timed ascendants. Finally, I just want to emphasize that we respect other technical approaches. We're not trying to make any other astrologer wrong or anything like that. Unless they hurt somebody, then they're wrong. But if somebody wants to use a different house system, or the true node, or a Hellenistic approach, or the sidereal zodiac like our colleagues in India do, I have no objection. I don't really want to sound as if they're not doing astrology right. That wouldn't be fair. But in the FCEA, we all speak the same language, so we can communicate with each other. We avoid the confusion of bringing in too many different approaches at the same time. And so this is it. This is the Stephen Forrest method. If it feels good to you, please consider joining the school, or perhaps becoming a community member and getting a little taste of it and seeing if you want to go further. So thank you.